And as I promised on Carm Week, we would go after the big shooters. And Lou Canellis, of course, has been the big shooter in town for a long time now. Switching over from Fox to Channel 5, following in the footsteps of his good buddy Mark Giangreco. I know you loved your former gig, but there's something about that NBC 5 that there's, that's another level, Lou, let's be honest.
I feel like I joined the Dodgers and I'm hitting between Otani and Betts right now. You walk into that studio, Mark, and there are Hall of Famers there. I mean, literally, I'll stand sometimes in the studio alongside Chuck Gowdy, who I grew up watching, Marianne Ahern, who's covering the Bears stadium situation as well as anyone. And then you've got Allison Rosati, Stephen Holt sitting at the anchor desk, and Brant Miller to my left cracking jokes all the time. I mean, it is a roster of Hall of Famers at that station, and I'm blessed to be part of it.
And there's no doubt, but I'll speak to the old hats that are watching right now, and you're a drop older than me. But for those of us who grew up in this town and you're a sports fan, you had it timed out that 5 would start the sports first. And if you were a Bulls fan, you go 5, and then 7 would be kicking in, and 2 would always go last. And it was Giangreco, it was Weigel, it was Johnny Morris, and like that was it. There was no, and so obviously the industry's changed a ton, but it's still, for those of us who grew up in it, it's a big deal. It always will be.
Those guys are my mentors. They really are. Tim Weigel, um, he, he was like a surrogate father to me. I mean, my dad was around, but Timmy took me under his wing. We did Northwestern football together. Heck, it was the first time I was on commercial radio on WGN. Tim Weigel and Joe McConnell, the old voice of the Bears. And then Mark not only became a mentor, but became one of my best friends. So I'm blessed. And 41 years, Mark, doing this now. I think back and I'm like, wow, how old am I? But how blessed am I in my hometown to be living a dream every day?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great one underline, Lou, to make the pivot, on the back end of a media career to cascade up. It normally doesn't go that way. So congratulations, man, for real.
Thank you.
It's big time. All right, I know everybody wants to talk Bears, so I was thinking about Caleb, and a year ago at this time, there was a lot of us who were like just a little bit skeptical that he was going to be the guy, and now a year later. You're going to the Madden event. He's, from all the pundits out there, top 5, top 3, top 1. And I was trying to think, like, who in this town has had, like, that meteoric rise? And I kind of, like, this is not even a remote direct comparison, but I'm like, well, Scottie Pippen had a migraine in Game 7, and then the next year they win the championship, and he goes down as, a Hall of Famer and all that. But, I mean, it's really incredible how far Caleb and the Bears have come in a year.
But it's what we expected. I mean, remember when they made this pick, the number 1 pick in the draft, the build up for Caleb Williams was unlike anything I had seen for a quarterback. I mean, you'd have to go back to Eli Manning, Peyton Manning days. And I know I'm obviously forgetting about a bunch of guys, but he's now showing, all right, the talent that we expected to see. And I saw some numbers recently. And remember, this was Caleb finally had a coach, all right, that could coach him. In all due respect, he had no respect for Matt Eberflus. And I love Matt. I think Flus is one of the nicest human beings I've ever met, became friends with. But really, do you think Caleb Williams listened to Coach Eberflus and said, oh, yeah, good point? No. He got Ben Johnson, who had incredible success with Jared Goff in Detroit. And immediately there was a respect between the two of them. And I was looking at the numbers. I referenced Mark. And weeks 1 through 9, Ben Johnson, first season with Caleb Williams. Caleb had 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His touchdown interception ratio rank was 19th in the NFL. And his quarterback rating rank was 18th. Weeks 9 through 18. So now you've had the chance to work with the quarterback whisperer, one of the top offensive minds in football. You feel far more comfortable running his offense than you did at the beginning of the season. Weeks 9 through 18, 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. His touchdown interception ratio rank is second in the NFL. Quarterback rank, 9th in the NFL. And he's just a different guy out there. So I go to camp. I went to mini camp last week, and it's so obvious with the naked eye how much better, how much this guy has come along. And then you listen to him, and I'm sitting there at Hallis Hall with you at the press conference, and he's transparent. And he tells you, man, I was underwater last year trying to learn the system in mini camp. And this year, it's second nature. It's so obvious. I can't wait for Bears fans to go to training camp and see Caleb Williams this year against last season. I can't wait for Bears fans to go to preseason games. He may not play, but regular season games, the opener, and watch how much this kid has come along. I'm excited as heck to watch Caleb Williams this season.
It's a great underlining, and in that press conference, like, wow, you're not even afraid to talk about that you were quote unquote underwater and waiting for a boat to come along. Like, I thought that was a big deal because last year it was like he was trying to get through the press conference, and it was kind of just a big word salad, really, like just trying to get through. And here, we're starting to see the actual you, which to me maybe that translates. I assume that translates to the field. I do.
It does translate to the field, number one. Number two, we're not even talking about how Ben Johnson has changed as an offensive play caller. He had worked under Jared Goff, who was good as anyone playing the short game, right? And completing over 70% of his passes, which obviously is the eventual goal for Caleb Williams. And we know he's got a ways to go to hit that 70% completion rate. But I think that Ben Johnson today, opposed to a year ago, isn't as wrapped up in that 70% completion rate because he now realizes he's working with a talent he's never had the opportunity to work with before. So, yeah, ideally, get the ball in Luther Burden's hands, all right, and yak, yards after catch. Let Burden do the hard work. Do it with Colston Loveland. Do it with, Khalif Raymond. But I think that he also has a quarterback here in Caleb Williams where if the play breaks down, if the offensive line can't hold true, then he's still going to make something of this play. That wasn't the same when he was in Detroit with Jared Goff. If Jared didn't get the ball out of his hands in 2.5 to 3 seconds, Jared Goff was probably going down. So I think that both guys have learned a lot over the course of the last 14 months.
Let's do one more on the football side for a second. What impresses you most about Ben?
Man, his intensity. I've had the chance to sit down with Ben now a few times, and I think about those times where he and I have had the chance to talk one-on-one and off camera as well at the NFL owners meetings in April. And this guy, dude, he took his shirt off. You saw he's cut. I'd hate to get into a fight with Ben Johnson, even if I was a bigger guy than Ben Johnson, because you get the feeling like he's gonna try to kick your ass until you put him down. He's just a really intense guy. And I always tell fans, listen, I get what you guys see on TV or on social media, but you don't see what's happening behind closed doors at Hallis Hall. You don't see how he's treating his players or the demands he is making on his players. I love watching him and his intensity because sometimes he lets you get behind the curtain, especially when you see the team celebrate after a win in the locker room with his good, better, best speech. I love this guy's intensity. This is life and death for Ben Johnson. He told us, Mark, before he left for the summer break for 6 weeks, he may take a quick week off, but this is when he really digs deep into what does he want to do next season. This 6 week period where everyone's gone from Hallis Hall except for Ben Johnson. He's working harder than everyone else during this 6 week time. That's what I love about Ben.
Do you think he can climb Ditka Mountain? Like, I'm trying to.
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
Without question. You know, we got caught up in the Ditka Mountain because, and I love Coach Ditka, who's a personal friend. But Coach Ditka, we loved his intensity, but we loved the way he got in front of the cameras and spoke openly, criticized openly of his players. You won't see that from Ben. It's a different time. I mean, today's player, I don't think reacts or responds, that's the word I'm looking for, to Coach Ditka the way they now respond to Ben Johnson. Again, a lot of his behind the curtain. It's behind closed doors. We don't get to see it. He's never going to call out a player on camera to the media, where Coach Ditka did it all the time. But do I think Ben Johnson will have the success that Mike Ditka had? He's got to win a Super Bowl. It's that simple, because we're still worshiping the 85 team. I'm emceeing an event for Jimbo Covert, okay, next Friday night, Mark, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be with Jimbo Covert, Dan Hampton. I mean, there's like a half a dozen 85 Bears that are still being worshipped in this town, because that's the last time this organization won a Super Bowl. Hell, they haven't won back-to-back playoff games in what, 12, 13 years?
Yeah, longer, right? It's we got to go all the way back to 06. It's
back-to-back playoff appearance. Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
If we're talking games, but yeah, for appearances too. I mean, listen, the nightmare has been real, but it feels like we're finally getting to the other side here. And by the way, when Ben wins one, he's going to be focused on winning two and then three. You know,
you're right.
You know, that's where it's headed. All right, where are we at on the stadium here, Lou? Because I know you've been in the thick of it, and your teammate Marianne Ahern's been doing a phenomenal job. And you know, you talked to all the players here. Listen, just to put my transparency out there, my take is that they should sell the land to the Bears in Chicago, tax them, because you have $1 billion hole of Soldier Field, which I don't know which me and you and anybody else who pays taxes in the city is going to have to eat up. And both Brandon, by the way, and Cam Buckner and just different people are open to it, but we're way past like that ever happening. But like also it seems like we're sort of in the Wild West of what's going to happen. Like where do you think we are? Where do you think it's going?
I've said this, so I know a lot.
Yeah.
I can only tell you a little.
That's okay. What can you tell us?
But here, let me be transparent like you were. It kills me that they're leaving Soldier Field, because I'm looking at Soldier Field right now. I can see inside Soldier Field as I talk to you. So my life is so much easier, and I'm a season ticket holder, a paying season ticket holder, have been since the late 60s. So it kills me to see them leave the lakefront, all right, as a lifelong Chicago kid. Having said that, I understand what they're looking for. They're looking for more than just Soldier Field. They want bars, restaurants. They want to build what Tom Ricketts built on the north side, all right? I get it. The land they had in Arlington Heights, they felt would bring them their dream, and that was to build around the stadium. Unfortunately, legislators who represent the South Side, the Southeast Side, the West Side here in the city will never give them the yes vote they need to get tax certainty that the Bears need to borrow the money so they can build a stadium. They are cash poor. They need to leverage the team to get the cash that they need to build the stadium. They will not get the cash unless they get tax certainty from private equity. So guess what? Arlington Heights is off the books. We can all sit and dream about it happening in Arlington Heights or in the state of Illinois. It ain't happening unless some miracle happens. all right, from the governor. And the governor has made it clear he is not going to put taxpayers on the hook to help out a multi-billion-dollar organization. What does that do? Please, there's one option. It's Northwest Indiana, because they've agreed to build the stadium, own it, which means no taxes for the Bears, and they move there. I'm sorry. Listen, I went on NBC that Friday that the news came out about no mega project bill getting passed through the state of Illinois, the capital in Springfield, and I said, I get it. I'm a businessman. I own 5 restaurants. The best business move for the Bears is in Northwest Indiana. Fans don't want to hear that. I get it. Fans are pissed at me. I heard from all of them in my DMs. Okay. I'm sorry, but that's the best business move for the Bears. Now, it's not going to be easy. And I'm not going to tell you that this is what the Bears want. It is not what the Bears want. Because guess what, Mark? It's so much tougher to sell PSLs in Northwest Indiana than it is Arlington Heights. It is so much more difficult for the Bears to sell naming rights to their stadium in Northwest Indiana than it is Arlington Heights or on the lakefront. But it is what it is. And that's why the state of Illinois hasn't made them an offer. They don't have anything to offer the Bears that they can agree on. That state legislators that represent the northwest suburbs or the city or the North Shore that they can agree to with their legislators here that represent the southeast part of the city, they've openly said to Marianne Ahern yesterday, we would rather see them go to Hammond than go to Arlington Heights. So it ain't happening in Arlington Heights.
See, I asked Brandon Johnson that when we had him on. Like, I'm like, if you don't have him, is Hammond a better second place for you? And he wouldn't answer it directly because he's like, I don't want to talk about second place because he's still hoping on some level, or at least putting it out there, that he wants him in Chicago, which I believe he does want. But to me, like, I get it from a Chicago standpoint. It's Chicago adjacent. You're not paying to, you're not helping them get the tax break out there. It's dirty politics. But I also get the loss / minor win for the city. I don't want to sit here and point blame, and we can move off the stadium in a second. But I do wonder, from your perspective, like, if Kevin's job was to put this whole thing together, and to what you're saying, and I've heard this multiple times, is all true. Why didn't Kevin say to the city, what is the number? What's the bill that we have to pay to you for Soldier Field to let us out? Because that's really his only way out that I see. What's the number? Is it 100 million? Is it 200 million? What is it that you will have your votes? That seems dirty too, but that seems like what the Bears need to do.
Listen, that's state politics. And yeah, I mean, I've been told that the number is $100 million. That Jimmy Haslam, who owns the Cleveland Browns, paid the city of Cleveland $100 million to get out of his lease and move to the suburbs where they're building the new stadium. And the Bears are saying, no, why? We shouldn't have to. But it's dirty politics. Here's my gripe with Kevin, okay? And I have great respect for Kevin. I know that most people don't. And here's my one criticism of Kevin Warren. Someone should have done a better job of telling Kevin who he needed to buddy up with here to pull off a stadium. And buddying up with Brandon Johnson was not the move. Buddying up with Governor Pritzker was. Going to Springfield and kissing the hinds of the legislators in Springfield, that was the move. They have the final say. They have no respect for the mayor of Chicago. So you buddied up with the mayor of Chicago, who went to Springfield and could barely get an audience with these legislators because they have no respect for him, because they don't believe he should be in office, because there is no relationship between the city and Springfield, which is a story in itself. That's the problem I have with Kevin. Is it his fault? Do I think that someone should have sat him down and said, you may get along better with Brandon Johnson, but to pull off what we need, whether it's on the lakefront or in Arlington Heights, I think you should go to the state capital, Springfield, and work on those relationships. It's my only issue.
It's a relationship game. They should have taken lessons from you, Lou. You've built a million of them. I mean, listen, same thing for Brandon there. Brandon should have built a relationship in Springfield. It would have been better for the city. It would have been better for him.
100%.
And I don't think whenever I've met Brandon, I like Brandon. He's been in twice, and I'm like, I think your heart's in the right place, but the relationship building, you came up short. And it's the same thing for Kevin, which puts the Bears in a really odd position of whether they allow Kevin to keep going here or make a major pivot and start over. Do you think there's any chance that happens, or do you just see them going to Indiana?
If you were to ask me to bet today on June 18th at 9:51 a.m. while we're taping this interview, my money would be on Indiana.
Okay. All right. Hey, let's wrap up with your conversation with Jaylon Johnson, because I thought it was awesome. I think you guys are getting that on YouTube. If people missed it, you had to hook me up with the special Lou Canellis connection to see it. But you were out at Kenwood. He's given back. He talked about how that's incredibly important to him. He doesn't want just to be known as the football guy, but also the human being. And then he admitted that he's not 100% healthy either yet, but there's this whole drive that I want to show people who I am. And you brought up to him that it's a huge year for you contract-wise. If it doesn't go well, he's not going to be here. So, I mean, this guy, when right, has been, if not the Bears' best player, in top 3 for a long time now. Where do you think Jaylon's at going forward here?
He's got a $100 million contract at stake this year, right?
Yep.
This season. Okay. So I appreciated that he was transparent, told me that he wasn't 100% healthy. You and I, before we started this interview, talked about how, he had that one day where he had 2 picks and a pass breakup, but for the most part, looked like he had struggled out there on the football field. Let's give a little credit to the Bears offense as well.
Sure.
I think that we're going to see that Luther Burden is going to be one of the top wideouts in football this season. But in Jaylon Johnson's case, Jaylon is motivated by money. He was the last time we went through this, and he is this time. And he was transparent in my conversation that he's always had that 3rd contract as a goal in his career. So Jaylon, hopefully, will be 100% healthy from his surgery of a year ago. He played in only 7 games last season. Never was really right. His numbers were not good. But he's going to go into this season. We don't know who will be opposite of him. Tyreek Stevenson, who, by the way, is playing in the last year of his deal. And for those listening or watching Mark and I right now and saying, well, Jaylon Johnson's got 2 years left on his deal. Yeah, the guaranteed money ends after this year. So if he doesn't play well this season, the Bears can cut him loose after this season and not have to pay him $1 next year. So that's why he needs to have a great year this year, so he can then force the Bears to sit down before next season and say, okay, now I want 5 years at about $110, $120. Okay, so I'm one of the top paid corners because I am the top lockdown corner in football.
Yep, and I mean, most likely he'll just get his $25 million for another year, which is a livable wage. But you never know. Maybe that will extend him because he's just been that great. I hope that happens because Jaylon, it'd be awesome if he spent the majority of his career here.
You know what? I did see an interesting number before we close this out, Mark. Defensive coordinator since Jaylon Johnson has been a Bear. 2020, Chuck Pagano. 2021, Sean Desai. 2022, Alan Williams. 2023, Matt Eberflus. 2024, Eric Washington. 2025, Dennis Allen. Finally, he is working for a second season with a D coordinator. That'll tell you where the Bears' D has been over the last 6 seasons.
Yeah, and you reminded me that like through all of it, like people be like, "Are you excited about this?" Not really. I don't care about anything that's going on in June. We got like he's just been. That's why like I love him because he's honest and he's fun and he's obviously really good at what he does. Hey, I want to bring in our producer Stephen Nicholas who wants to salute you on the way out here, Lou, because he got something a little special for you.
Yeah, Lou, I'll tell the story like this. 25 years ago, you went to a third grade career day at Correas Elementary School. And I saw you showed your demo reel and you had Michael Jordan behind you. You were doing reporting. You threw his towel over your head. And I think I see a photo of him right behind you, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. And I remember thinking back then it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. I'm like, wow, this guy not only gets to work around Michael Jordan, but, he interacts with them like that. And they have that fun relationship. And from even before that time until I was 17, I had always said I wanted to be a pediatrician. And I'm sitting in my room about to apply to my first college when I'm 17. And I stopped. I'm like, I can't do it. I don't want to do this. And I went downstairs. I told my parents, hey, I know I've been saying this for my entire life that I want to be a pediatrician, but I think I want to go into sports media. And they were fully supportive of it. And in the back of my mind, I was always thinking about that career day. Because like that, the impact that it had and like seeing how much you loved your job. And you even said how much you enjoyed going into work every day and how you'd go to sleep excited for the next day. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like to you, it might've just been like another day, but for me, it was like one of those moments that kind of like influenced my career and like led to me, like somebody else could be producing this interview right now, if not for that. So I just want to say I appreciate it.
Hearing this makes my day. I thought the highlight of my day was going to be talking to Mark Harmon. That is the highlight of my day, and I won't chew up too much of your time. But recently, I had the opportunity to be the commencement speaker at Loyola University's graduation last month in May, and the point I wanted to make was, man, if you have a dream, chase it. Okay. And Stephen, it makes me feel so good that you're chasing your dream right now because it's not work. I mean,
Correct.
I just did an interview with Mark Harmon talking about the Bears for 20 minutes. And I'm going to go to NBC today, all right, and do sportscasts at 4, 5, 6, and 10 and talk about sports. I mean, you're paying me to go to games. You're paying me to talk about sports. I feel like I'm robbing a bank and I better get out of here. It's the greatest. I've got the greatest dream job, and to do it in my hometown and for you to work in your hometown.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so lucky. And for you to have parents that are that supportive, that's what makes it. All right. My parents have passed away, but my dad wanted me to take over his dry cleaners. And when I told him that wasn't my dream wasn't sticking my hand in soiled pants to make sure that there's not a pen in there that's going to burst in the dry cleaning machine. My dream was to be a sportscaster, and I'm blessed. And so are you.
Yeah,
working
definitely.
With Mark in CHGO.
Absolutely.
It's good Greekness going on right here. I love it. Hey, Louis, since you're being so generous, I'll ask you for one more minute. Can you tell a quick MJ story that perhaps is on the tip of your tongue? Because that's my all-time favorite.
All right, so
yeah.
I'll give a great MJ story. All right, that's PG, without getting me in trouble. Because remember, I was traveling with the Bulls, and I was single, had no one to answer to, and was part of the family. Great MJ story. Now you got to realize, when I travel with the team, I went out to dinner with Ron Harper every night. I spent more time with Ron Harper over a 5-6 year period than anyone in my life because I traveled with the team. And we hung out here in Chicago as well. So every time we'd go to a city, Harp would say, hey, this is what's going on. I'll meet you downstairs. So we played Utah. It was an early Saturday afternoon game in Salt Lake City. And then you jump on the plane. Bulls obviously traveled private. You jump on the plane, you go to the next game. So we're on the West Coast, early start in Utah. Game finishes up at like 5. I'm supposed to go we're flying to LA to play the Lakers. It's a Saturday night. I'm supposed to go to dinner with my cousin who's an actor in LA. So we fly to LA. We arrive at like 6:30, 7 o'clock LA time, and we take the bus to the Four Seasons Marina Del Rey, and we're getting off the bus, and Harp says, "Hey, MJ has got a bunch of limos coming. We're going to go to dinner with MJ and the crew." Okay. I go up in my room. I remember like it was not the Four Seasons, the Ritz-Carlton, because I remember going up into my room, calling my cousin who was waiting for me and saying, "Hey man, we're not hanging out tonight." What do you mean we're not hanging out? I go, "I got something going. I got to work." I didn't want to tell him that he was being upstaged by Michael Jordan, but I said, "I just can't hang out." So I go downstairs. Again, I don't know. So there's 3 limos waiting, and it's myself, Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen in one limo. At that season, Chief Parrish, remember Robert Parrish?
Sure.
James Edwards,
Buddha,
Dickie Simpkins, they were in another limo. And then MJ was in another limo with some of the security they travel with. I have no idea where we're going. I'm not asking. We go to Century City, all right, and I remember the limo pulling up, and there's a line of people. It's like 9 o'clock, 9:30. You know, people party early in LA. And there's a line down the block. We get out of the limo, and security from this place, again, I don't know if it's a nightclub, I don't know if it's a restaurant, they're taking us to this outdoor stairway. We go upstairs, and I realize now that it's a place that you can eat, but it's also a nightclub. So we're upstairs, and there's about 12 of us at this table. And you know, the one thing, if you're Scottie Pippen, the last thing you want to be doing is hanging with Michael Jordan, because Michael's the king and you're the queen. So everyone kind of spreads out, does their thing, and it's just MJ and I sitting at this table. And there's these like they're like bleachers in this up balcony area. And I look over there, and it's Prince.
Okay. That's amazing.
And the security guy comes over and says to MJ, and it's just MJ and I now, because everyone else is scattered. And the security guy says to MJ, "Prince says hello." And I'm like, holy. And that was one of the great experiences that I can talk about, that I remember. With MJ, you never knew who was going to be there with you partying.
Lou, you're a one of one, man. No, people would kill for those experiences, and you had them. And
blessed, 100% blessed.
Dude, thank you so much for the time. You got 8 million things going on, 5 businesses, sports, everything else. So thank you. We appreciate it, and we'll be watching you. Thanks so much.
Love you, Mark. Love you, Steven. Thanks for having me on, guys.